What's up guys, welcome to Coffee Code Repeat. My name is Chase and today we're going to go over how to install Python. So grab a mug of your favorite brew, your computer, and then let's get started. Alright, so before we get started installing, we need to talk about the different versions of Python. Python is constantly being worked on. New features are being added, bugs are being fixed, things are being improved, and that means that there's going to be different versions of Python that are available. Now, for the most part, the versioning won't get in your way. See, the way versioning works is that there are major and minor versions that are released, and they mean two distinct things in software. Python has two major versions that are commonly used, and you'll hear about regularly: Python 2 and Python 3. The 2 and 3 are major versions. This means that when the version went from 2 to 3, there was such a major change that they weren't compatible anymore. If you'd been writing code in Python 2 and then tried to run it in Python 3, it probably wouldn't work. So knowing if you need to know Python 2 or 3 is important before you get started. Minor versions are still important, but less so than major versions. For example, Python 3.9, which 9 being the minor version and 3 still being the major version, is the latest version as of the making of this video. However, when 3.10 is released, the developers may have fixed bugs or added new features that aren't available in 3.9. So you'll most likely be able to run your code as long as you're using Python 3. something, but you might run into issues if you're trying to use a feature that's only available in a newer version, or it might still have a bug that hasn't been fixed yet. Now, after all the talk of the versions, the one thing you really need to worry about are the major versions: Python 2 or Python 3. Python 2 is deprecated, meaning that it won't be supported anymore. No more bug fixes, no more new features, and you might not think that there's any reason at all to learn it if it's not going to be worked on, but there are still a couple. If you're learning Python for work and your team uses Python 2 or has libraries that are dependent on Python 2, you might want to use that version. Maybe there's a specific project that you have in mind that you want to try or that you want to contribute to that requires Python 2, then definitely install Python 2 and focus on learning that. For future usefulness though, you might want to think about trying Python 3 as well. In this channel, we're going to be focusing on using Python 3, but the installation process is similar for both, so you should be able to still use it to get started. Okay. Now that we know which version of Python we're going to use, let's jump into the actual installation. First, we need to check if Python is already installed. To do that, you need to open up your terminal application. I'm on a Mac right now, but if you're on Windows, just type terminal into your start search bar. On Mac, open up your Launchpad, and unless you've changed your stuff around, it should be in the Others folder. Yep, right there. Now just click on the terminal application. Alright, if you haven't used a terminal application and now you feel like a real hacker but you have no idea what you're doing, it's alright. We won't be doing anything crazy today. But learning how to use the terminal is pretty important, no matter what area of tech you get into. If you guys want me to make some videos about getting to the terminal, let me know in the comments down below. Alright, first we want to check and make sure that Python isn't already installed. So in your terminal, just type Python and press enter. If you get an error saying the command can't be found or something along those lines, that's alright. It just means that you don't have Python 2 installed. However, if you see something more along the lines of this, that means it's installed. Now, if you're on a Mac, Python 2.7 is already installed by default, but as you can see, it's not recommended for use. If you need Python 2.7 and you're on a Mac, well, congrats, you're all set. Thanks for watching, don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one, I guess. But if you still need to install a version of Python, don't worry, we're still going to do that here in a second. Okay, so we checked for Python 2. And even if it is installed, we still might need to check for Python 3. This is really easy. If you did have Python 2 installed and it is running in your terminal, all you have to do is type exit followed by open and close parentheses and then hit enter. This will take you back to your normal terminal application. Then just type Python 3 and hit enter. Again, if you see an error saying that the command couldn't be found, you don't have Python 3 installed. But if your terminal looks something like this, that means it's installed and Python 3 is running. To get out of it, just type exit, open and close parentheses, and hit enter. If you don't have either version of Python installed, then it's time to install it. And depending on your operating system, there might be a couple of different ways to install it, but no matter what your operating system is, you can download it from python.org. I'll have the link to the installation page in the description below, so you can just click on that. So now you see the download button right there? That will actually download the latest version and should automatically detect your operating system, so you wouldn't have to worry about anything. But if you want to make sure you have the right one you're looking for, like you're looking for a specific version, or maybe you're just curious, You can scroll down the page a little bit to see the different versions available for download. For this one though, I'm just downloading the latest version from the top button. Once the package finishes downloading, you can double click on it to open the installation walkthrough. Now, as much as I'm sure you'd really love for me to read through the licensing and the terms of agreement for you, I'm gonna pass this time around. But if you really want to, you can go ahead and read it yourself. Once the install is complete, you're pretty much set to go. If you take a look at your applications file on your Mac or your program files on Windows, you'll see that Python's installed there. And if you never closed your terminal down, running Python won't work yet. So go ahead and close that down and then open a new terminal window. Now, type in Python 3 or Python if you're just using Python 2, and voila, you should be in. All right, so one caveat to that, if you're on a Windows machine and Python doesn't start working immediately, you might need to add the location of where your Python folder installed to your path environment variable. And I'm going to put that down in the description below so you can just remember it and you don't have to listen to my voice over and over again. And you can Google how to do that, and that should fix your problem. Also, if you guys do have any questions or anything about the video, or you have something that you think I missed, put it down in the comments. I'm going to be keeping an eye on it and doing my best to answer your questions and comments and hopefully help you out in any way I can. Alright guys, so that's the video for today. If it helped you out, that is awesome. Please smash the like button. And if you want to see more tutorials and tech videos, please consider subscribing. I'm going to be covering Visual Studio Code installation in my next video. And if you're unsure what that is, take a look at my What You Need to Get Started Coding video and you'll understand more. Alright, I'm going to see you in the next one. Still don't have an exit or goodbye or anything, so just exit awkwardly until the next time. Every time.